John, you call Celtics games,
Yes.
even though Grandy has turned down the television job
Yes.
and decided to keep doing the radio games.
Yep.
Whoa.
You have called Dallas Maverick games, I would imagine.
I have. I've been to Dallas and called games there. Yes.
That is part of the luxury of having John on this show is that he has been in the building. He has professionally called these games.
Mm-hmm.
Who take the last series out because apparently Minnesota was tired, and as we've talked about before, they're a young team. This was like the next step in their development.
Yes.
Actually, if they would have lost to Denver, you got to figure beating Denver. People are ripping on them for being tired, but I got to imagine beating Denver in that Game 7 kind of was like
That was their NBA Finals.
Right.
That was we just beat the defending champions, and they weren't fully ready, obviously. Dallas is just another team. Now we're going through.
Because that was in Denver, right? That was Game 7 in Denver. Game 7 was in Denver, or was Minnesota the 2 seed?
I think Minnesota was the 3.
Okay, and Denver was the 2, and Oklahoma City was the 1.
Yes.
All right, so whatever, but just say they won on the road in Denver.
Yes.
And I mean that's like a huge step for that organization.
And that's the thing. I think looking back on it now, it's very easy to see that they used all their energy to beat Denver and had nothing left.
So let's just do this exercise. Like, say that it was just starting now. Would you have? Who do you think matches up better against the Celtics?
Minnesota matches up better against the Celtics. I mean, you saw it during the regular season. Minnesota matches up better against the Celtics.
And now, do you think of because I agree, Minnesota played the Celtics tough, and Minnesota has a unique size and
They're
all of that.
superb defensively. They got great wings. I think the double bigs would have given the Celtics a lot of trouble. Towns and Gobert would have given the Celtics a lot of trouble. But Dallas has these two elite, great players. And I don't know. Look, I saw a couple of the games, and it mystified me why, as great defensively as Minnesota was, they couldn't even slow them down at all. So, I mean, look, first glance, the Celtics should beat this team. The Celtics should beat this team in 5 or 6 games. But, you watch Doncic have quarters like the first quarter last night. KYRIE is an elite shot maker and can beat anyone off the dribble. And then you start to think, okay, now I'm not so sure. The Celtics should win. It's set up for them to do so. Denver's not there. Minnesota, who I thought matched up real with the Celtics, not there. This should be a series the Celtics should win. But after watching Dallas play Minnesota and tear them apart, Minnesota was the best defensive team in the NBA during the regular season. Dallas tore them apart in 5 games.
And it's been such a change for Dallas, too, this year. They were, in January, 50-1 dogs to win the championship.
And rightfully so.
50-1. They opened at 25-1.
You saw what happened to Dallas down the stretch at the end of last season. They acquired KYRIE and went right in the tank and missed a play-in round. I mean, they were awful.
Isn't it funny?
Remember when they spent all that money to bring KYRIE back, how we all laughed?
We played clips about it, but it's funny because people take what professional analysts say so seriously and as gospel. Stephen A. Smith is great. I love Stephen A. Smith, but he's gone back in fairness and apologized to KYRIE. Both teams, Minnesota and Dallas, how much were they ridiculed for those moves they made?
Dallas,
Minnesota
Minnesota
traded for
gave up
Gobert,
75 draft picks for Rudy Gobert,
and everyone crapped on them, and then they beat Denver, and all of a sudden it was like, oh. I know Rudy Gobert looked like an idiot against Luka Doncic, and Perkins wants to take his Defensive Player of the Year vote back. And then when Dallas, like you said, when they acquired KYRIE, people said, why that team?
Yeah, because the Minnesota deal for Gobert was more about that's way too much and he's not worth it.
No. But also, it was also about why they needed another big man. They said they already had Karl Anthony Towns. Why the hell would they need, of all the teams, why would they need Gobert?
Yeah, it was a combination of the transaction and the team building. For Dallas, it was, what are you doing? Haven't you seen, this guy's a team killer. He's going to come in and he's going to be disgruntled, and he's not going to play well with others, and it's only going to be a matter of time before you're worried about him and wondering how you're going to get rid of him.
But Hardy, beyond that, it was also, this is why the analysts are funny, is because they also said Doncic, we said it too, but we're not professional analysts. Doncic is a ball-dominant player, ball-dominant player as anyone in the NBA. Why the hell did you just sign an elite point guard when you have a guy who's going to have the ball, 70% of the game in his hand, 70% of the offensive possession in his hand? So, why would you get Kyrie Irving? I thought that, but that's the luxury of being an idiot, and known for being an idiot is it doesn't matter. But so the next time that you hear a professional analyst break it all down, the two teams that played in the Western Conference Championship were labeled as disasters with horrible front office people because of the moves they made. And now one of them's in the finals.
It is kind of funny, though. We always overtalk and overthink things, but when it comes to basketball especially, why would you want two really good players who both like to control the ball? It'll be fine. It's just, they'll figure it out.
Sometimes you're right about that. Like, for instance, when James Harden goes different places. Sometimes it doesn't work out.
Sometimes
there has to be some deference there, and Luka has decided to defer to Kyrie Irving and vice versa.
Kyrie's deferring to Luka.
Well, there were periods of time last night after the first quarter where Luka would stand by himself on a side and Kyrie would take over.
But Kyrie Irving is talked about and I know Kyrie had 36 points last night. Kyrie scores for this team, but Kyrie has made it obvious this is Luka Doncic's team. He's the alpha.
So now we're set up with either the best case scenario or the worst case scenario for Celtic fans. Speaking for myself, I desperately want the Celtics to beat Kyrie for a championship. And the flip side of that would be a catastrophe. If Kyrie beat the Celtics for a championship, that would be just a terrible feeling.
It's going to be
as a Celtics fan.
One of the worst. A favorite going
There's no middle ground here.
A favorite going in to a series where you in a season where you've dominated the whole year, losing to the biggest villain in Boston sports. Kyrie right now is the biggest active villain in Boston sports. He is.
I'm not arguing.
No. I'm arguing
You're looking
with myself.
at me. He isn't.
You're in my line of sight, you freak. Calm down, narcissist. But
You're
seriously, can you think of hockey? Because hockey is just every playoff. The football, no, because they suck. Baseball, yeah, all the big guys. Chris Sale, oh boy. So yeah, I mean, Kyrie Irving is the biggest active enemy in Boston sports right now.
Yep,
they're playing in the finals in a year where the Celtics are considered, ask Randy, of the greatest team ever assembled, and they lose to the Mavericks. Well, I don't care if Kyrie sucks in the series. I mean, it's bad. And then Kyrie's mouth. If you're Kyrie Irving after that series, Kyrie Irving says all that stuff, and Mike did a great job putting it together, comparing himself to Martin Luther King and all these other things. Even if I was Kyrie, and if anyone was Kyrie, if you won that series, the crap coming out of my mouth afterwards, I would just let it fly.
And that's the thing that would be maybe the most gnawing in all of it. Whatever you feel personally about Kyrie and his flat earth nonsense and all that stuff, at the bottom of it, there's still a part of Kyrie who believes basketball is not the most important thing. If his team ends up beating the Celtics in the NBA Finals, just remember Kyrie is on record as saying, oh, no, this is just a job and there are more important things in the world. That's why he takes so much time off and do other things.
That smile.
And it's like, this is
smile.
The basketball? No, this is just something I do.
Saw him on the TNT post-game show. I think it was after Dallas won Game 2, and Charles Barkley's talking to him like, none of that stuff in the last 6 years happened. Oh, Kyrie, it's great to see you doing well. I'm happy you're in a good place. As if he didn't completely blow up Brooklyn and wasn't terrible and a complete mess when he was here.
Right.
All of that's wiped away. He's a great guy now. Yep. But if Dallas wins and I have to look at Kyrie Irving sitting there talking with Doris Burke and J.J. Redick about how he won a championship and he's all smiles here.
Right.
And God, if it happens in Boston, I just
Boston, where so many years ago the Pilgrims sat down with the natives and slaughtered turkeys for the first Thanksgiving meal. Now, if I could be honest with you, JJ, I would have preferred mutton.
why? Why
Because
mutton?
it's a gamier meat, and it's interesting, John. They ask that. When I eat meat, I want to know I'm eating flesh of an animal that was slaughtered. And it's good. Doncic he's at 5 for 8 from the field today. When you slaughter an animal, John, it's important to take the entrails out, but you want to use them.
Doris, we have KYRIE ready. He's just accepted the MVP, and he's ready for your first question. Go.
KYRIE,
Yeah, how you doing, Doris?
it's lovely to see you. I
Yep.
understand that you believe the Earth is flat.
Well, I'm just happy to win here today, and there'll be time to talk about that later.
You know what else is flat? If you could look at this, I have a 12-inch hunting knife. Now, this can pierce the windpipe of even the largest deer. And then what you let him do is you bleed him out.
I don't eat meat. I'm a vegetarian. It's part of my
Oh,
lifestyle.
KYRIE, it's the essence. It's the thrill of the kill. KYRIE, I mean, we thank the spirit animal afterwards.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
Some people use a bow. Sometimes I just punch.
really? You go into the forest and punch animals?
Oh, wild boars. You catch them, you tackle them, and you punch them to death. That's good meat.
I thought you were more of a venison fan.
Venison jerky.
Oh.
I hang it from the tree to dry.
Freeze dry that yourself.
But you know what? Sometimes they can bring a bear, and they're fun to kill.
You wrestle those, do you?
Oh, stop.
Oh, they're too large, John. No, thank you. No, I shoot them.
I thought you punched them.
No, wild boar. Wild boar is the animal I punch. Sometimes I'll go in the sea and just grab.
You grab all kinds of fish,
Yes.
porpoises and sharks and whales and
Oh, well, not a whale, John. They're far too heavy for a human. No,
let me see.
not whales.
That's it from the TD Garden, where the Dallas Mavericks have beaten the Boston Celtics on the home court, Game 5. No one saw this one coming. Doris, any last thoughts?
It's been a blast.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. For more Celtics analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.